What's up, guys? So I've been telling you guys for a while now that I was playing this game, and some of you already know which one it is. Obviously, Deus Ex. I got this game the day it came out in August 23rd or August 26th, something like that. And I started playing it. I didn't get too far, and then I just stopped because Gears of War 3 came out in September. And I wanted to play Gears of War 1 and Gears of War 2 again before I played Gears of War 3. So I did a full playthrough of those two, and then I did a full playthrough of Gears of War 3, and then other games started to come out because it was during the fall season, the holiday season, where all these games were coming out. And I started playing those, and then I stopped playing Deus Ex. Which kind of sucked that I stopped playing it, especially now that I beat it, and I know how amazing it is. So let me just jump right to the review. This game is absolutely awesome. For 2011, if I had beat this game in 2011, this would have been in my top games of 2011. But since I didn't beat it, it wasn't. But I did say that it was most likely going to change my list. So it did. This is definitely in that list. I think Deus Ex has made it into my favorite games of all time list. There's a lot of things that I really like about this game. And there's some things that I didn't like. It's not like there was no bad for it. This game is it's an RPG. It's an action RPG. It's kind of unique when it comes to gameplay because it pretty much makes it so that any kind of gamer will enjoy it. Like, say you're a gamer that's like, oh, well, I really like playing stealth, or I really like going guns blazing, or, you know, I like a little bit of both, or I like to shoot from afar, like I like to be a sniper, this and that. You could pretty much do whatever you want when it comes to that. Like, you could focus on stealth, and you could beat the game without killing anybody. You really could. It's hard, but you can. So let me just talk a little bit about the overall idea of the game. This is the main character, Adam Jensen. Oh, by the way, Human Revolution is the prequel to the previous Deus Ex games. I'm not going to go into the story because this game could be spoiled really easily, but he is an augmented soldier, pretty much. This game has a lot. It's very much like Metal Gear Solid, at least in my opinion. The concept is pretty similar, and the character reminds me a lot of Snake. With Snake and the human genome soldiers and the Metal Gear, it's more about advanced genetics and, like, you know, making the perfect soldier through genetics and cloning and stuff like that. But this is different. This is a little different. This is augmentations through prosthetics. So it just adds to you. So you're pretty much like a RoboCop. Like, you could have a freaking mechanical arm that does all this crazy stuff. Adam has two mechanical arms. He pretty much has mechanical limbs. Enhancements in his eyes. Enhancements in pretty much everything. He's pretty much a walking weapon. He could cloak. He could see through walls. He could break through walls. He has this thing called the Typhoon, where you pretty much all these bullets shoot out of your body. He also has this other thing that's kind of like a protective capsule where he jumps off from, say, a building. He'll fall, and this capsule, this yellow energy will just surround him, and it protects him from hurting himself when he falls. It's almost like a little parachute type of thing in a bubble. But yeah, he could do a lot of things. So that's pretty much what the story is about augmentations, changing or enhancing humans for the better or for the worse. Like, it really goes into both concepts. And Adam is pretty much experiencing it to its potential. Under Adam's circumstances, it really encompasses the whole idea and the whole morality of it, or immorality of augmentations and of just enhancing humanity, whether that's that's a good thing or if it's a bad thing. Do you lose your humanity? So this game goes into that, into the whole idea whether you're still human or are you a robot now? Do you still have a soul or is it gone? I'm not saying that this is a unique game because it's not. I already said it's similar to Metal Gear Solid. It's not unique. But the way that they tell a story is pretty good. Like, I really love the story. I really love the gameplay. Some people think it's kind of confusing or it's kind of hard to get used to, and I will admit it is kind of hard to get used to, but you do get used to it. It's kind of confusing at points because it switches from, say, first person to third person, but I actually really got used to that. Like, I really liked it. When you were shooting, you were in first person, and when you were in cover, you were in third person, so you could kind of see. I really liked it because when you're in cover, a lot of people said it takes away from the immersion of the video game, but I really don't think that that's true. I mean, I like to be able to see my character, and in this case, I really like to see Adam Jensen because I think he looks freaking awesome. I love the way he looks. I just love the character. So some people found it kind of confusing, the whole switching from first person to third person, but I really liked it. I'm not a big first person player. I don't like first person games, but this game I had no problem with, which was kind of weird. Like, I've never really played a first person game where I didn't have a problem with it, where I didn't constantly keep telling myself, oh, this whole first person thing is kind of weird. I always feel that way, but with this game, I got used to it so fast, and maybe it was the whole switching from first to third that it made it feel normal, like it made it feel good. So the things that I really liked about the game were the story. I loved this story. The way that it was told. I love the way that it was told. It's an RPG, like I said, an action RPG, so I loved the whole having a choice and not being penalized by choosing this over this. Like, you just choose, like, what do you want to do? Like, it's not like you're being given a point system, whether you're good or you're bad. It's just you being you, and I like that. I really liked the character, like I said, Adam Jensen. I really grew to care for him. Like, I really grew to feel almost what he was feeling. Like, it was very, that was one of the things that I really, really liked about the game, is that I really felt like I was in his shoes. Like, it was, I grew to care about the characters that he interacted with, or hate, almost the way that he would. It was pretty crazy. Like, in some parts, I actually felt like my heart just pumping, like, with emotion, like, where I'm just like, I was almost feeling what he was feeling. It was crazy. Like, I really, really like that. I've heard a lot of people talk bad about his voice. A lot of people are like, oh, it's too strained, or it's too raspy, like, the voice actor's trying too hard, it's not normal. But I mean, if you listen to the voice actor, his voice actor is Elias Tufexis, and he's an actor, and he's also done a lot of voice acting stuff. But if you know who he is, or if you've heard him in real life, he pretty much sounds like Adam Jensen. Like, he's not pretending. Like, he has a really raspy voice. So he changed it a little bit. I think he did it a little deeper, but not that much. Like, he pretty much talks like him. So it's not like he was forcing it or anything like that. He just has a voice like that. Like, that's how his voice is. So, so he wasn't really trying to sound all awesome and like, yeah, I'm bad. I'm Adam Jensen. So I didn't have a problem. I liked his voice. I thought it fit perfectly for him. It really added to the character of Adam Jensen. I really like the whole idea of the augmentations. It kind of sucks in the beginning because you want all these augmentations, and you pretty much get the augmentations by leveling up. Every time you level up, you get this little point. It's called a praxis point. And these points, in order to get an augment, you have to spend points to get an augment. Like, you don't start off with all the augmentations. Adam Jensen has to go and get these augmentations through praxis points and stuff like that. And it's kind of like you have to level them up, because he doesn't start off knowing how to use all the augmentations. So it's pretty realistic, I guess. But you do, in the beginning, you do start off like, I want all these augments, I want to do this and that, and I can't, and you do start off like that. But once you start getting more practice points and more augmentations, and it comes easier and easier and faster and faster, you start getting more and faster. I wasn't able to get them all, but I pretty much got all the ones that I wanted. Once you start getting more and more, you get addicted to the augmentations. Like you're just like, oh, this is so cool. But yeah, the augments are really fun. You should take advantage of them. Like, take advantage of the augments. Sometimes I was just like, oh, I don't need that one. Like, trust me, if you think you don't need it, sometimes it does come in handy. Like, a lot of times you will be in the situation where you're just like, oh, this would help right now, and it totally does. The message, the story, the game is trying to tell us something about society, about our world, about humanity, about technology, about where that's going in reality. And I really like that. Like, some people don't really like when games do that because they're like, oh, it's too serious. But I love that. I love when a game tries to put out a message that resonates in reality. And that's exactly what Deus Ex does. And it does it kind of subtly, kind of in your face also, but the message is kind of subtle, where it's just like, because you get the idea, you're just like, oh, that kind of like, I think they're kind of alluding to our reality. But to actually get the message and to understand what they're trying to say, and what the game is really about, and make you reflect on reality and our life and where we're going, and where technology is taking us. And whether if it's doing good or if it's doing us bad, or those types of questions. I love that. I'm amazed how a video game could go so far, as to question our morals, to question our humanity. It's really, really cool. I loved it. When I was playing it again, I kept on telling myself, how could I have stopped playing this game? It's addictive. Like, you want to know what's gonna happen, because you're just like, oh my god. And sometimes you just like, they pull things out of nowhere and you're just like, what? Did you guys hear that? That was Charlie. Why are you crying, Charlie? So now let me talk about some of the bad. And I'm not gonna say like horrible. It's not like, it wasn't like, oh my god, this game's so stupid because of this. No, it was more like, it was kind of frustrating at points, kind of annoying, and where you're just like, oh, I wish they hadn't done this, or I wish they did this a little easier, that kind of thing. First, the major things that I thought of were the character animations, and I've talked about this in a different video. The character animations, and by that I mean when they're talking, their body language and the way that they move and then they talk and stuff like that, it's very repetitive. Like, they don't do anything different. Like, okay, if you can't give them unique movements and all that, I could understand that. Like, I know that must take a long time, and like, you know, a lot of effort and a lot of dedication, and sometimes it's just not worth it. Don't make them move around so much. If that's the point, don't make them move around, because they move around a lot. In Deus Ex, they're just like moving around, and then they stop, and then they talk to you, and then they go like that again, and it's the same movements, and you're just like, sometimes it's hard not to pay attention to that. Like, you're just like, oh my god, why do they make him move so much if he's just doing the same damn thing over and over? So that was just kind of frustrating. It wasn't enough for me to say that the game was horrible, of course, but it was just like, oh, it was just kind of annoying sometimes. So I was just like, why don't they just, you know, just have them talk, like, yeah, blah 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 blah, maybe move their hand around a little bit, but like, they do these specific motions, and then they go, and then they do it again, and then they're like, and it's just like, oh geez.